Hello, Facebookers. How are you? Good? We're doing film festival today on this chilly, chilly day, so we need to heat things up, guys.
All right, I'm
You're
ready.
gonna do that.
I'm gonna get hot.
Yes, you ready to get
I'm
hot?
excited.
Look
This
at
is
us,
gonna be
clearly.
Oh,
fun.
look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two hot guys.
Yeah.
We're in a cool space.
Contain yourselves, everybody.
Okay, you two, who are you? I said we're talking film festival, so that gives us a clue. Let's get into it.
I'm Graham Skipper. I'm the writer-director of Sequence Break, which is having its world premiere tonight at 10:30. Very
Good
excited
voice.
about it.
Very cool.
And-
Talk about it.
I'm Zack Carlson, and I was part of a group of people that rescued a lost 1990 movie called Jungle Trap.
Oh.
And it's just now being seen for the first time. And also I'm here with a thing called the American Genre Film Archive.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to get into the descriptions of these two films
Yes.
because they're great.
Yes.
I mean, this is how
Have you
you
seen
pitched it. No, I haven't been able to see them.
No one has.
But I was just
here
reading the
yet, right?
descriptions, and it's one of those that I want to ask when you went in and said, "Here's what I want." Well, I know about yours. Yours is a found one, but that one has what? Alcoholic airplane pilots. And,
Yes.
Oh.
Yours decapitations, right?
Lots
Tell me
of
if I get them
decapitations.
mixed up. So yeah, perfect.
So alcoholic airline pilots and decapitation.
And ghosts wearing loincloths.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least in
Very
modest, you know.
cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a children's film after all.
Very cool. Okay, so who wants to go first? You want to go first about your
I
film?
want
We,
you to go
we heard a little bit.
Okay.
You
You want me to go? I'll go first.
Say the name of your film again.
So the film is called Sequence Break, and it's about it stars Chase Williamson, who genre fans might know him from John Dies at the End, and Siren, which just came out. Anyway, it's about this guy Oz, who's a reclusive video arcade repair technician, who ends up getting this mysterious circuit board arriving at the shop that is a video game that causes reality to begin to fracture. And so you get all sorts of fun stuff like, instead of decapitations, we have Cronenbergian hallucinations. We got some biomechanical mutations.
Oh, mutation.
Mutations.
These are all Asians.
Lots of Asians.
It's a Shun movie.
It's a shun. It's ultimately we call it a romance. It's about him and this girl that happens into his life and this sinister arcade machine that's trying to ruin everything.
So I'll ask the question that everyone always seems to ask writers and actors: how much of it's autobiography?
100% autobiographical. Actually, you know, there's a lot of me personally in the movie, and I took a lot of inspiration from movies like Videodrome was a huge influence on me, and I love that movie because I love that Cronenberg is able to take real stuff that he's talking about and through cinema make these metaphors of being afraid of your body and being afraid of technology and make them real. And so that's what I tried to do with my story, is take some very real stuff that I was going through at the time and funnel it through this bizarre genre lens that is what speaks to me. It's the kinds of movies I like.
Cool. When will people be able to see it here?
Tonight at 10:30, and then tomorrow, Friday, at I think 7:30, and then Saturday again we have another screening. I think 7:30 or 8:30. But yeah.
Okay, cool. And we'll link you guys to something where you can get a schedule of all the films and all that good stuff. Have you been to Chattanooga before?
No, never. I'm super excited to be here. I got in last night. I got in and
Welcome.
It was, thank you. Yeah, I got in and everybody was like, "Oh man, you just missed the crazy storm."
Oh, please.
wow.
Child's play.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to see the town and see a bunch of movies. I've been hearing about this film festival for years, and I've always been jealous that I couldn't be here. So
I know, I'm glad we got one. Is this the, how many years going now?
This is
Fourth?
Fourth, right.
Wow, cool. Very cool. All right.
Can I ask him a question about
Yes.
the movie?
please.
Please.
There's this movie Nightmares with Emilio Estevez.
Yep. Bishop of Battle.
Yeah, he's so good at a video game that it actually comes to life and attacks him.
There's definitely some Bishop of Battle in the movie.
I just wondered if you'd like that movie. 'Cause
I do like
love
that
it.
movie. Oh yeah, of course.
But it sounds totally different. I just wondered. I just got
Yeah.
excited thinking about
Oh
it.
yeah, no, it's funny. There's not that many like video game movies. I'm not talking about like like
Doom.
Resident Evil or Doom or something like that. Like there's not many movies that are about video games.
Yeah.
Like there's the awesome opening of Scanners 2.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
Joysticks.
Joysticks, war games,
Right.
sure.
Right.
But there's just not that many, and,
I
and
like
which
war games.
which sort of surprised me as I was developing my movie. I was trying to look up other stuff for inspiration. I went, oh, there's not really that much.
Yeah.
So
Have y'all met?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
I work at a festival called Fantastic Fest, and his work has been there before. That's in Austin, Texas,
Yeah.
where I live.
Oh, you live in Austin?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, he's been there before. We hate each other though.
yeah, it's a terrible rivalry.
Yeah.
We do too.
I could feel the tension since I walked in
Yeah.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Tell us about your movie, and then I want to get more into that.
Okay.
But
It's a really weird story. Bleeding Skull is a group of 3 people that I'm part of, and our mission is to find movies from the 80s and early 90s that were completed but never released, and then share them. And this is something we've been doing for a few years, releasing stuff on VHS and DVD.
Are they finished?
Well, yeah, they always were. Like they'd complete a movie and then they'd go to distributors and distributors say like, "This is trash," and then
They wouldn't even put them on the Blockbuster shelf?
nothing. They couldn't get anything, and so we would find these movies and be like, "They're brilliant, trash," and so we'd release them. But there's a filmmaker named James Bryan, and his most successful movie was "Don't Go in the Woods," which
Yep.
you've seen.
Okay.
And he had made a bunch of kind of drive-in stuff. He started with adult films and went into drive-in horror, and he did all kinds of stuff. But
It's a
then
good combo.
it is, yeah.
probably saw most of his work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like both food groups, sex and violence. So that was kind of his bread and butter. But he always aspired to do greater things, and the video market collapsed while he was finishing his masterpiece, which was called Jungle Trap. So he shot this whole movie, and then his distributors told him, "We don't want it." And he never even bothered to edit it, never did a soundtrack to it. He just said, "Oh, I'm over. My career is finished. Like, the world hates good things." So, 26 years later, my best friend and we knew this guy who bought a used car in San Francisco, and in the trunk was a bunch of like McDonald's wrappers and then a couple of videotapes, and one of them was this lost movie by this director. It was called Run Coyote Run, and he sent it to me, and I said, "Let's put this movie out." Went to his house, got the tapes for that, and then next to it was a movie called Jungle Trap. I said, "What's that movie?"
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Don't even talk to me about it. It's never going to come out. We never even edited it. It was the movie that broke my heart and ruined my life."
Oh.
And I said, "If we edit it and we can get a soundtrack made for it, can we release it?" And he said, "Go ahead, do your worst."
Mm-hmm.
And he did not get to see the movie until it played at Fantastic Fest with an audience.
Oh, cool.
And he got to see the film edited. We made a period-accurate soundtrack using 80 synthesizers and drum machines. And he saw all of his friends on screen, a lot of whom are now passed away.
Wow.
And he got up in front of the whole audience and was emotional
That's
and
really
crying, and he's just like, "This is incredible." And so the screening here is the second time ever that this movie from 1990 is ever going to be seen by anyone
Crazy.
at the screen.
Awesome.
That's really neat.
I tried to be efficient, but I also wanted to add the pathos. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So how many of these movies have you guys released?
Jungle Trap's going to be our 8th release.
8? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to follow Heavy Metal Massacre and precede Ninja Zombie.
What is it?
Those are the releases around
What
it.
is the name of the second one you said?
Ninja Zombie?
Oh, I thought you said something else. My
No.
mind is always in the gutter.
What? Oh, never mind.
I know, now I'm trying to work out. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt the other 7 have stories quite that. But how many
No.
of them were like you found in a trunk somewhere?
I
Yeah.
love that. I wish you would have just
Yeah.
taken a picture and somebody popped the trunk, but that's
We didn't know. Apparently, it was wrapped in a McDonald's bag.
that's so cool.
Yeah, but yeah. So it was this crazy multi-part
that up.
story.
I know, on like a San Francisco street, that would have been
Yeah.
cool.
But the
Always thinking.
actual master tapes for Jungle Trap have been sitting in a barn in rural Texas for
Were they like beta tapes
30 years.
or
It's called a Beta SP, and it's like
Yeah.
it looks like a giant videotape. And
so old? I know. I
We've
used
cleaned it
to
up.
work with them.
I've got a
Yeah.
tattoo of a VHS tape right
Really?
here. Yeah,
There
it
you
says
go.
this is never forget.
Mhm. Do you guys remember when you have to like black out the tapes? I used to have to do that when I was an intern somewhere. Like I would just have to sit there for hours and black out beta tapes. You just keep
To
running.
clear them
Yeah.
off so nobody can use that footage later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For hours
Or
a
just
day.
pretty- you got a better recording if it wasn't.
Right,
Yeah.
it was over something else.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when you edit from like deck to deck, doing all
Yeah.
that.
There's still people who, I mean, there's like underground filmmakers that are still shooting on
Really?
camcorders and like duping and editing from deck to deck. There's a guy in Chicago that
It's hard to
does
do.
it. Yeah, but that's what he likes.
He likes it.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what
Well, that was,
I
I mean,
learned.
when I was a kid, I got, probably $20 or something. I got some old camcorder, and I just remember that was how you used to have to. If you were making like a little movie, you
Yeah.
and your buddies, you would just sort of edit it on the fly. And
Yeah, or in camera.
yeah, it was
That's right.
great.
That's
Yeah.
what you did.
I was still doing it like 15 years ago, editing
Yeah.
from deck to
When
deck.
I interned at a local TV station, it was three-quarter inch tape.
Yeah.
I had the two,
Yeah.
line them up, and if it got
Yeah.
warm, it would stretch the seam.
Yeah.
So different
Yeah.
now. It's crazy, crazy. Well, how are people reacting to these films?
Nobody's seen mine yet,
Right, I figured.
so
This is the world premiere.
it's the world premiere. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how people react to it.
Yeah.
I'm really
You
proud
haven't
of it.
done groups.
Yeah, I mean, we've shown it to some friends and some other filmmakers to get notes and stuff, and everybody really enjoys it. I'm really proud of it. It's super weird and super loud, and I think the actors are great. So I don't know. I'm excited to watch it with a big crowd tonight.
Are you in it?
I'm not in it. No.
I want to. This film festival, I think if people are watching this, you two are kind of what I gather makes this film festival special.
Oh.
It's kind of Chris
That's you
Dortch,
personally.
Chris Dortch, who started it, has similar passions as you guys. The people who come here to watch have similar passions, and the filmmakers have similar passions. And I think what this one does is it understands that. Everybody here kind of gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had a really incredible experience 2 years ago at the festival where Chris Dortch, who's the festival's founder, had said, bring just a really fun movie that'll make the audience feel great. I don't care what it is, what year it's from, what it's about. Just bring something that'll bring down the house. And I was like, oh man, that's a big order. You want to make the right choice. And I brought Lady Terminator,
Oh my God.
which is an Indonesian
So
exploitation film. And I brought it on 35 millimeter, and I was just like, this is a movie that only a jackass could hate. Like it's just pure insane violence. You've seen it?
Oh, it's amazing.
It's the best. So, I mean, you get from the title kind of what it is, but it also
Yes.
has the supernatural thing going on, and it's just so wildly, passionately, hilariously violent, like nonstop. And so I got to the festival. I'd never been to Chattanooga, before for a screening, definitely. And there's a room full of people. I know nothing about their tastes. And, it's a combination of nerds and just curious citizens and just all kinds of people. And Lady Terminator plays, and it's just 90 minutes of like, and then afterwards, everyone came up and they said, I love that movie. Where can I see more movies like that? Like, that was so unique. That's so interesting. And
Not
it was,
here. Just kidding. You can during the film festival.
But it was this great reaction. Like, people are so open to things because you show movies in like New York or LA, and people are like, what is
Okay.
like? I've probably seen this before.
Right.
Like I know what I'm getting into. And there's that whole attitude of like the privileged viewer.
Right.
And here, people are just wide open to having fun.
Yeah.
That's
it's
a big deal.
It's like babies. Yeah.
But it's like this great omnivorous appreciation of things that boring people have no longer are open to.
No, it is exciting for us to have this definitely here because a lot of times we don't. I'm a big movie person. We just don't get the movies here. So then I miss them, and I have like this long list on my phone of movies I've missed that I want to see.
Well, and I think
So-
what's cool too about like what you guys do is that now, I mean, you can go online, you can buy Lady Terminator.
Right.
Like you can, and so I like to think that people, that come to the festival or even that just hear about the festival, are inspired to go seek out, these movies
Yeah.
that I mean, it's incredible that we were just talking about. I watched the Blu-ray of Pieces, and I'm like, what a world we live in, where somebody did like a 4K restoration of this insane movie, that I never thought, I would see beyond the cruddy VHS tape that I used to have.
Yeah.
But I mean, you raise a point. So for that person who says, I can sit in my chair and get anything I want, with a click,
Well-
whatever. So what do they get when they come here?
Well, I guarantee you, I'm 100%. As fun as Lady Terminator is, it's way more fun in a crowd full of people.
I feel like every movie is
Yeah,
better on the
sure.
big screen though.
Oh
That's
yeah,
just me.
it's totally
Yeah.
true. It's you don't get sound like that anywhere else. You don't, and I mean, film I think should be a communal experience. It shouldn't just be you sitting by yourself, like watching something on a laptop. It should be you with a whole room full of people, like enjoying this thing together, experiencing this thing together, and then hopefully going out after and talking about it.
That's what I was going to say. It's not just sitting and watching the movies. There are other events, brunches, games, right? What was the eating contest?
Oh, the moon pie.
Moon pie eating contest last
lost.
year. Did you?
Is that happening again?
I think so.
Is it?
Wow, that's intense.
You in training?
Yeah, my whole life.
But film festivals are awesome to get so many movies a lot of us have seen now out. Like they started somewhere, at some film festival, and that's how it works. And then people put money into it, and then there have been so many like little low budget films that have really blown up, and that's cool to see when that happens.
Without the festival scene and without people's reaction to those movies in that setting, there's recent examples would be stuff like Blue Ruin / Green Room. Jeremy Saulnier is a director who came out of that world and just like, hey, I'm just here on my own doing this thing in a tiny way, and now everyone's looking at this guy for his next project, and there's countless movies like that.
Well, and I think too specifically the genre community is so supportive of each other. Like it's not, I think that there's sometimes a misconception that people in the film industry are all cutthroat and trying to undercut each other. And there is some of that for sure, but I find that in the genre world, we all just love this stuff. So like we're going to support each other. And I mean, when you see something like Jeremy Saulnier coming out, you see Blue Ruin, of course you want to support the guy. And I think it encourages people to help spread the gospel of like, go see movies in theaters, go support film festivals, don't torrent movies, like support filmmakers, because this is how they are able to make more movies.
It's kind of why I was asking earlier if you guys knew each other, because while we were waiting to come on, you guys were talking and sharing, not secrets, but it was a little bit of you've done this and you've done that kind of secrets. So, but I mean, I think it gets to your point, is that sort of collaborative. This is kind of a weekend, isn't it, for you guys to swap how-tos, good things, bad things, cry on each other's shoulder, whatever.
I might be crying tonight. We'll see.
No.
You can use this anytime you want. But what's fun is like the stuff we're talking about is kind of more of like the genre world, which means horror, sci-fi, like lowbrowish stuff. But then even movies like Moonlight that just won the Oscar came from the same sort of festival world, independent filmmaking world, and that's like
a Southern Wild.
That's a great example. I mean. Yeah, so it's like it's not just a certain type of movie. It's just like basically movies that come from somebody's ideas rather than a market projection of how many Iron Man tickets will sell. It's like that. Those are the two different worlds. It's not like here's the horror movies and here's the respectable stuff. It's just like here's the people that are doing this and going broke and losing everything to tell their story, and then here's the bigger movies, and it's like that's all the great success stories.
Speaking of horror, did you see Get Out?
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the rare movies that met every very high expectation that I had.
I know. I there was so much hype about it. I was thinking I was going to be disappointed, and I loved it.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I thought it was poignant. I thought it was important. I thought it was. It's really, really hard to balance comedy and horror. I think it's a really difficult thing to do, and I thought he walked that line really, really well.
And it was really smart and really true to what's going on.
I agree.
People.
I've asked other directors and people in the industry before, which is harder, comedy or horror, and to some degree it was always horror because the line, to comedy, you can go too far with. The question really was about music, soundtracks, horror soundtracks.
Oh.
Very difficult because it can go to comedy quickly, with too much
the score.
spookiness
or sometimes it's like not cheesy in a good way. The score.
Exactly.
Like it's too much.
Yeah, comedy and horror is funny that those are the two things that you're asking about, because I guess those are the two things that hit you in a visceral level. Like if you're watching a drama, a lot of movies you process intellectually, but like laughter and fear are the two things where it's just like an innate reaction that you can't even control.
It's true.
So it's funny that you're talking about those two things. So those are like the animalistic reaction genres, I guess. Like, where it's like,
So for these movies we're talking about, are people going to jump? Do you want them to jump out of their seat? Do you want them to laugh, cry, everything?
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah. I think people will be jumping during my movie. I think I want people to be viscerally affected. And that's certainly why that's what I enjoy in a movie. I think that the best genre films are the ones that don't go in saying, okay, we're gonna make people jump a lot, or whatever. I think they're movies that treat the subject matter. This will sound trite or whatever, but treat the subject matter like a movie, and then it's the culmination of all those things that thuds you in the chest. I mean, like you mentioned soundtracks, and there are videos of people watching the original Halloween when it first came out, and it's great because they're all covering their ears.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's like they cover their ears, and that's a whole, but it's a combination of of the soundtrack and of the visuals that you're seeing and of the story that he's built up, and I think that genre filmmakers want to accomplish that.
but it's good to not take shortcuts because, my wife and I rewatched The Exorcist recently, and what's incredible about that movie,
Terrifying.
and the thing they would never do now, I don't think, is they spend 45 minutes developing this relationship between the mother and daughter before anything supernatural even happens. And most people now, some executive would be like, well, get to the monster,
where's the
get to the
blood?
devil,
Right,
hurry
right.
up.
Nobody's died yet.
And
I hate
now-
all the Exorcist remakes and all that.
Because it used to, you really felt like you forget you're watching a horror movie, so you're just like, I'm really investing in this story,
Yeah.
and that's what makes you care when this stuff starts to go
Well, same
down.
with you mentioned Get Out. I think Get Out is another great example of something that it takes its time,
Right.
letting you get to know these people, because you're afraid for characters when you care about the characters.
Do you have a favorite horror movie?
I mean, I always say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
It's a tie between Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Alien for me. I think both of those are pretty perfect films in very different ways.
He's from Texas too, which adds
Ah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like Sleepaway Camp.
Yes.
I've never seen that.
You should, and don't let anyone
Don't-
tell you what happens, right?
Okay.
Don't let anybody tell you about the
I'll
ending.
put it
Yeah.
on my
Really.
long list.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see a movie called Jennifer's Body by Diablo Cody?
Did you watch that?
I never saw that movie.
It's really good.
Yeah, I've heard really great things about it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, you should see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. How about you?
I haven't seen it.
Favorite horror
Well,
movie?
Favorite horror movie?
No, it's like real weird. You
Yeah,
like it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm kind of late to it because when I was like 5, my older brothers forced me to watch Frankenstein. So I didn't sleep till I was 15.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I didn't grow up watching horror movies. In fact, the soundtrack's what did it for me. If I hear the Moog, the synthesizer or something, I'm out of the room.
So many people are because
Yeah.
I love
More
horror
than
movies.
anything else,
They're
the
like,
music.
oh, I can't do
Yeah.
that. I can't go there. I'm like, really? Because I love.
You
I
see,
love
what I
to
say
go
to
there.
those people is, I just think they haven't seen the right horror movie yet.
Well,
That's true.
that's what I say now,
Yeah.
watching them now, and in part because we're so inundated with it, there's not much that, I can watch the blood and the guts now and the music, but Halloween bothered me terribly. Just, again, the music is such a big
Yeah.
part.
Do you
of it.
like Jason,
Uh,
Freddy?
I mean, yeah,
Jason or
it's
Freddy?
kind of fun. Freddy, probably.
Jason. I'm a Jason guy.
I'm a Jason guy too.
Yeah, I think I could.
I mean, nothing against Freddy. I like Freddy fine.
The Exorcist is still pretty darn.
I think for Friday the 13th, I go 4, 6, 3, 9,
Oh wow.
2, 1, 8, 10, 5.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my
Okay.
If you're scoring,
Friday.
well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Some people know. Some people
4.
definitely know.
4 is the best. 4, 2.
Which one is 4?
4 is the one with Crispin Glover.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Corey Feldman.
And Corey
Right.
Feldman.
Right.
As-
Love
yeah,
Corey Feldman.
Yeah, I think 4, 2, 6, 8.
Which
Really?
one's 8?
I love Manhattan. I love it.
Whoa, that's Jason Takes Manhattan.
7,
Oh.
I put that one.
3, 9.
I like 9. That's Jason Goes to Hell.
That's Jason Goes to Hell.
Underrated.
And you got to see the whatever it is, the like unrated cut.
Yeah.
I still like the initial camp scene, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. I just that particular the first one,
That scene is just like
that scene's great,
when
and
I
it's a great
first
a
hear
great
the
movie.
music,
Yeah. It's a good
Yeah.
movie. It's just that's never been
one of the
that-
early on in my career, I attended one of the cons.
Right.
And they had a panel discussion. And Robert Jordan, who wrote a lot of the Conan books.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he asked the question, who is the scariest villain? Now, this was probably 28, 30 years ago, so a lot of them, but everyone on the panel agreed. First, let me ask you guys, who's the best villain?
Like
Of horror movies?
A horror
Robert
movie?
Mitchum in Night of the Hunter.
Great
actor,
choice.
Not actor, the character.
Well,
Yeah.
that character, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. What's his? Charles Gooding or something.
No, I don't remember his name. Is it good?
I can't remember. The preacher from Night of the Hunter. Yeah.
He also uses a fake name, so in the movie, which throws us off.
Yeah.
But
I think it's the dude from Candyman.
really,
Oh,
Tony Todd and
wow,
Candyman?
Tony Todd.
You don't like that
That
backwards
movie terrifies-
jump out the window he does?
No. No, the movie terrifies me. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with. Actually, I really love the character of Dr. Fives, which is played by Vincent Price.
That is a great movie
Vincent
series.
Price is a good call.
Yeah.
He's
The answer from the weekend was Cruella DeVille.
What?
Yeah, she kills puppies.
She does. She just wants to wear their skin. That's natural, right?
Yeah.
I just thought it was such a great
Interesting.
answer, though.
That's
Wasn't it?
interesting, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I'm not opposed
Women
to that.
are
Sure. I
terrifying.
mean, she's pretty evil.
Yeah.
When you break it down and don't think of it as a kid watching a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot
She's
of
killing
kid
puppies.
movies are very
To wear.
scary.
A lot of puppies to
Yeah.
wear.
How many puppies does it take to make a coat these days?
Apparently,
know.
I guess 101, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
You're right.
There you go.
Yeah, these days it might be because we're bigger, but yeah.
Right. That's true.
The kid movies are there's a lot of scary elements.
Let's talk about scary kids movies if we can.
Yeah.
Are we open to this?
Yeah.
I submit that Return to Oz traumatized more kids in the 80s
Yeah.
than any other.
I think I would agree with that.
Not
it
Labyrinth.
was bad.
Return to Oz?
Return to Oz.
I like it more than the original Oz
Oh my
movie.
gosh, really?
I
When
also
is
like-
that? You watch it again. It's a good movie.
I love it.
Really?
It's a
solid.
creepy movie.
Is that the
Yeah.
one with like Michael Jackson?
No, that's The Wiz.
That's The Wiz.
Oh,
That's what
I
you're
like
thinking
that.
of.
Yeah.
You hate breakdancing, I understand. But
Now, Return to Oz is like is Fairuza Balk, right?
Right.
Oh,
And
really?
she's Dorothy's getting electroshock therapy and
She's pretty.
It's intense.
She's pretty crazy.
the Wheelers.
yeah, she's like 9 years old then, but it's like she kind of has a Wednesday Addams
Yeah.
version of Dorothy going
Yeah.
on.
It's an intense movie.
That movie's great. And
Was
then
she the
also they
chick in
talk
The
about killing her
Craft?
friends, like right now.
Yeah.
Did she what?
Was she in that movie The Craft?
Yes.
That
This
was
is like-
another.
Yeah.
This is like 8 years before The Craft. She was in an Oz
I
sequel, and it
loved The
has
Craft.
a lot of darkness in it.
Oh, I love Darkness.
You'll love it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's one of the
Okay.
weirder kids movies maybe ever.
That and I was trying to think of what used to like really creep me out as a kid. And
Witches. Did you
Yeah.
see
The Roald
that?
Dahl Witches.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
Scary.
that's a good one. The Disney Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It always got me.
Yeah.
It
A
always
lot of
got me.
Disney films are pretty
The Black
creepy.
Hole. The Black Hole's pretty
Oh,
scary.
love it.
Yeah,
Robert Forster.
yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's weird because not to give anything away, but it's always surprising when the children's film ends up in hell.
Yeah.
Which is not something that you would normally see, but
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
But I
some
support
movies
it.
did it, and that's a Disney movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
So
Not Casper.
What has
Casper's about a dead kid, though. Really, if you
True,
think
yeah,
about
it's
it.
sad.
Yeah.
what has technology done for you guys, pro and con? And I'm kind of asking because anybody can use an iPhone now and make a pretty good short film, or we're doing this
Except
thing
for
in
us.
HD. But
Yeah.
I've asked that before of other people, and there's kind of a wave where everyone thought they could, but it's maybe forced good filmmakers to make better films. Is that not to put an answer?
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it's good. I think that, like you said, it allows more people to make films, of quality. I mean, like my film, probably wouldn't have been possible without current technology that allows me to use a really awesome camera, for, relatively, way less money than somebody would have, 10 or 20 years ago, as even though there's always, a lot of debate about, shooting on film versus shooting digitally, I think shooting digitally allows you a lot of freedom to experiment, and a lot of, it allows people with smaller budgets to, take bigger risks, and end up with something that, looks just as great as, whatever big movie is out. We talk about like Moonlight and Beasts of the Southern Wild, these big movies that are, winning Oscars that, I imagine 20, 30 years ago, if they had tried to film those movies on like 16 millimeter or something for whatever their budget was, like it wouldn't have gotten as far.
Have the same effect.
Tangerine's a crazy example.
Yeah, I shot it on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess what I didn't add was that it makes people make the story better. The technology, the filmmaking is there, so they focus a little bit more on the story rather than, I can do this with my phone.
I hope that's true. I don't know if that's true.
I hope so too. I think I might put it more that it allows filmmakers to take bigger risks in their storytelling because there's not as much money that's like on the line, which there's still a lot of money on the line, but it's I think a lot easier to do something kind of weird, and for a smaller indie budget than if you're doing a studio picture, you're not going to be able to. It's really rare, to see older movies. Like Night of the Hunter is a great example. How did he make that movie? And granted, he had star power behind it, but it was a huge flop at the time, and he never directed a movie again. And I think nowadays you might be able to make that movie for a lot less money, and maybe it wouldn't have had the negative impact that it did.
It's hard. I think current or recent technology has been a really great and really catastrophic thing for movies because the way that movies are made is suddenly available. That's suddenly opening up, and it's now an available possibility to anyone to make a movie, whether they're using home technology to do it or getting like a red camera. But all of this stuff is definitely more accessible than 35 millimeter filmmaking was. But the way people are consuming movies is basically destructive because now there's a sort of a general global expectation that everything is free, movies, music, and all of this stuff. And so there's no way to make groundbreaking, interesting, risky new work without at least hoping to break even at your tiny budget. And when everybody expects everything to just fall in their lap for free, then it just basically renders this stuff not impossible, but much less possible.
That reminds me, there was a Christian filmmaker who released a movie 8 months or so ago that I did a story on, and
is it Kirk Cameron?
It wasn't Kirk. It was, but when I went to their website, at the very bottom in big bold, it said this movie will only be shown in theaters. It will not go to tape. And I was like, I've never seen that before. And I called to ask. He said, yeah, that's right. So what they would do, hopefully, in their model was church groups or whatever would rent out a theater and then sell it to their members, and that would be the only showing.
Right.
He said if he put it to tape, it was immediately on YouTube.
That's true.
It was gone.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, I'm sure.
Yeah, so, and he said, even like the Bible stores that would sell his stuff before, years ago they might order 100, now they're ordering 2.
Yeah.
So
that's hard. It'd be hard not to
you're
get
exactly right. But everything,
out
the
there.
music's the same.
Oh yeah, my friend and I wrote a book, and we didn't do a reader version. We just said you have to buy the paper book, and then somebody scanned it and put up a free PDF online in 2 days of a 640-page book.
Wow.
That's what I would assume would
They
happen.
spent a lot of time. I'm like, it's so weird. And so with movies, that's even more accessible to
people suck.
So how will
that's what it comes down to.
how will you guys hopefully make money off of these projects? What is the model?
God, who knows?
Is it the advertisers?
I think that it's just sort of that like people are going to steal movies, and so I think like the one thing that you can do is really try to spread the gospel everywhere you go of like don't torrent these movies. It's stealing, and it's stealing directly from the filmmaker. And that's across the board. That goes for big studio movies too. It's like just don't do it. It's stealing. And I think that the reason that that's like the most important part of the battle is that people really don't understand. They don't get. They don't get why it's a problem. I took an Uber. This was like last year or something, and my Uber driver recognized me from a movie I'd been in, and he told me, "Yeah, you were so good, man. I got it off of BitTorrent last night." and I said, "Dude, and we were and we got into a discussion about it. He had no idea of why it was wrong."
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people don't understand how the industry works, and especially especially on this level of filmmaking, it's like we rely, that's what we're relying on. on, you know, not only for our living, but to make another movie, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's that. How do you make money on it? You try to, you know, I don't know, you try to sell it and you try to make a really good movie. I fully believe that if you build it, they will come. Like if you...
So, but in a perfect world or a good world, people here will see your movie tonight and then they'll buy a version of it. Is that, I mean, that's how you would...
Oh yeah, I mean, I think
the old model is the right model, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it maybe helps to generally dispel the broad misconception that if people are involved in the entertainment industry, whether it's broadcasting or filmmaking or whatever, that everyone is rich. Because that is not true.
Not true.
Like it's like basically, you know, like
It's hilarious.
We're like on Hobo Island.
Yeah.
Same.
So it's just you know, the world is not like that anymore. People you know used to think that if you write an article for the newspaper, if you're a weather person, like you've got it made, you've got a yacht, and it's just everyone's out there doing their best.
Like when I was just a normal TV reporter, not a digital reporter, people think you don't write anything. I'm like, I'm in a live truck inhaling fumes, editing my own stuff, shooting my own stuff.
Right.
Like,
but they think you guys are just wealthy mannequins.
They think, yeah. You're just reading, you know.
Right.
Or even like the anchors, because the economy has been so bad. You would be like running the prompter with your foot in big markets and stuff like that. Yeah, people just you know.
Figure out ways to make it work, right?
Yeah,
So
whatever.
It's like everyone is struggling together and everyone's just trying to entertain each other and make the world a little more
You
fun.
have to really love it to stay in this.
Yeah.
Because it's fun, but it's not.
It's hard.
It's not
really hard.
I think independent movies, like this is a silly analogy, but it's like being in a punk band where it's like no one's supposed to get rich playing punk music. Like you do this thing because you're driven to do it and you're maybe don't even know what you're doing.
And then the ones who do, it's like not cool then.
It's like once you've made it, like
Yeah.
who cares? So I kind of feel like movies, independent films are like that. It's like,
Totally.
hey, my friends and I are just going to get together and do the best we can and get it to you as much as we can through our own channels, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Besides your own films, what are you looking forward to seeing this weekend?
I'm really looking forward to Jungle Trap.
Good answer.
I am. No, I am. I'm really looking forward to I can't remember the name of it. There's a silent film called like this something
Heavenly Bodies?
Yeah, Heavenly Bodies.
Yeah.
That just sounds amazing. I'm really excited for that. I haven't seen The Void yet, which I've been really looking forward to for a long time. Dave Made a Maze. I hear is great.
I've seen thanks to this, and they're going to build a maze.
Yeah, it's a big surprise event today.
Also, am I supposed to tell that? Sorry.
There's speaking of the Heavenly Bodies, that screening of that silent film, which is going to have live musical accompaniment, which is really great, is going to be at the Palace, which is a new theater that the people from Chattanooga Film Festival are opening, which is like a permanent year-round venue here in town, which is close to where the festival's happening, and that's going to be their inaugural show. And they're opening this theater called the Palace, where they're going to have all this stuff happening year-round to kind of keep the spirit of what happens at the festival going in Chattanooga all the time.
Yeah,
So
I was
when
thinking
is that? You know when that is?
I think it's tonight, at like before yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was thinking this morning, as a matter of fact, about this film festival. It was 6, 7, 8 years ago, and there were a lot of people talking about we should have a film festival. Chattanooga should have and it just would start, and then all of a sudden, bam, this thing is just blown up.
It's actually I'm not saying this because we're here in Chattanooga. It's actually my favorite film festival right now because inevitably the fancier film festivals like Sundance and South by Southwest, hometown, they start being geared more towards the business end of the industry, and people are like talking about acquisitions and things like that more, and they're not as focused on the just excitement that comes around discovery.
Like a machine.
Yeah, it's like this discovering fun, interesting new things. And I'm not just, throwing some wind about the festival here, but like it's actually more of a joyous, just open experience, around movies than any festival that I can remember going to. And it's maintained that for all 3 years that I've been here. And that's like weird that it's so rare that a festival feel like that, but it is.
It's very similar to what Mark Corvino, who's here, I think, he said the same thing. He loves coming here because it not only focuses on the fan, but the directors and the writers, the people who are here, the filmmakers that are here about having fun.
Right.
It's not like the festival's here as a favor to you. It's mutual. So
That's cool.
makes
It should be what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's and also like we said earlier, everybody seems to just get it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. Everything in life should just be about
That's
doing
what
your best and
have
having
fun. Have
yeah,
fun.
yeah. It's weird that people forget that, but this festival does not forget that.
Don't be a downer. Yeah.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
So many out there. Well, this sounds fun. So we're gonna put the schedule out. I said we'll link you guys to it. I know a lot of people have been asking me about it, talking about it. So definitely go see Jungle Trap and
Sequence Break.
spell it for me.
Sequence, so SEQUENCE.
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 Not like the thing on your
Yeah.
Yeah, not sequins.
I'm like, what in the world?
Sequence
Why?
break, guys. Yeah, careful. Sequence break.
Where does that come in? To the arcade game?
Yeah, sequence break. It's a video game term.
Is
yeah,
it?
it's a video game.
Did you know that, Ellis?
There you go.
Yeah.
But come see the movie to find out how it relates to my film.
Okay.
You could have
and how sequence
right,
play
about,
into the.
Liberace.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
video game.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I guess they try to figure it out.
Or that could be like the porn remake. You know how they always do like porn
Yes.
parody remakes.
That's what I'm interested in.
Sequence break.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's the next job I
Yeah.
want. Just to make up titles.
Yeah.
For that porn remake.
Just maybe your next film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best porn remake.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible prude.
No.
Are you serious?
Gotta be repenetrator.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait, there was also you've got male genitalia. Yeah.
Yes. Edward Penis Hands is also a classic.
Are we allowed to say
Are we
that?
saying
This is
Facebook?
the internet.
Anything's
Anything
possible.
goes.
I worked. I'm sure you did this too. I worked at video stores in my youth,
I love
and
that. I
most-
miss them.
they usually try to have some kind of clever play on words with the porn
Yeah,
titles.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But this one was the least clever porn parody title ever. It was just, and the front is a guy in a suit doing this, and it was called Liar, Anal, Liar. Really?
Spent a lot of time.
And how are you an anal liar?
I don't know.
How do you lie?
I didn't watch
Somebody
the
with
movie
a
to
red
find out.
marker. Just put it right there.
Yeah, just like, how do I ruin this? So I don't know. Anyway.
But you remembered it. So.
I sadly did, yeah. The part of my brain that could know things that matter. I was occupied by that.
Yeah, I miss those movie stores.
The video stores, this is a little side thing. Since our Bleeding Skull pursuits include VHS and DVD, because that was the way the movies were supposed to originally be seen, was VHS, so we released them that way. And through doing this, we've met a lot of existing, surviving mom-and-pop video stores.
Really?
And there's still a lot of them. There's
Really?
Scarecrow Video in Seattle is the biggest video store in the world. Have you heard of this place?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
And
that's so cool.
it also happens to be the single largest collection of movies that are publicly available
Oh,
on
awesome.
Earth. So it's like basically the Library of Congress of movies.
Wow.
And people don't know that. You think like, what is the biggest collection of movies in the world? It's a
I
video
thought
store.
there's like
Huh.
none left. But
No.
there are.
They're around.
There's over
Okay.
100 independent video stores still alive in the U.S.
Do you
which is
remember
amazing.
like the really crazy ones that had like movies and tanning?
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Shot-
That was
shotgun
that
shells
combo.
and
Yeah.
worms.
Yeah.
Was that a thing?
Oh no, yeah,
There's
there's
still one up in
Yes.
about an hour
I'm from
here.
Florida.
Yeah.
Well, of
There's
course.
a Washington State, which has no sunshine, had movies and tanning shops. Like my roommate worked at one.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
That's hilarious.
Movies,
No.
tanning, and frozen yogurt was.
It's like one of my favorite things
What's
to
the
do
one
is
up
to go to
on
movie
Mont Eagle?
places though.
Yeah.
And it's like shotgun shells, worms, and
Yeah, and
Oh.
movies.
Oh.
everything you need for
We
a fun
should go
weekend.
there.
I think is the
I
thing.
got
Bag
one of
of
my
chicken.
rarest.
There.
One of my rarest. I collect VHS tapes. I have 4,600 VHS tapes at home. All of which are movies that have never made it to DVD or streaming.
Wow.
Wow.
So if you think about 40% of the movies that came out on VHS never existed any other way yet.
Sure.
So, but I was in a tackle shop in Alabama, like a fishing store,
Yeah.
and they had a dusty section in the back that was like, movies just
Yeah.
VHS available, and they had this incredibly rare horror movie called Dr. Voodoo that I've been looking for like 7 years on the shelf for $1. The guy's like, yeah,
Crazy.
buy
That's
it.
so weird.
So that was only 2 years ago. So like that discovery can still happen. Discovery is what's fun. Like it's like a treasure hunt. It's not all online,
Yeah.
folks. Like it's like look for stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Open your eyes.
That same goes for the festival. Goes for checking out new filmmakers. Like you know what I mean. Like that you haven't seen their work before. It's like going to a bait shop and buy a movie. Like discovery is fun.
Well, there's a perception, people, that if it was good, it would be mainstream.
No,
Not true.
That's
Available.
wrong.
Yeah.
I know it's, but
Yeah,
there is
yeah.
that perception. You know, I would have heard about it. They
Right.
would have told me about it if it was
It's
really
like music
good.
too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Exactly. It would be on the radio if it was good.
No, it
the way
wouldn't.
to,
Yeah.
No,
I think the way to
it wouldn't.
break that misconception is you take a movie like It's a Wonderful Life, and that was a huge flop when it came out.
Yeah.
And it happened one night. Like that did all right, but it wasn't like this, just beloved classic. But like It's a Wonderful Life is a movie everyone knows, where it's just like this almost homogenized awareness of like, yeah, that movie. But it's a great movie. And at the time, it was just like, it was just
You
kind of a
like it.
stinker. And now people look back and they're like, yeah, it's a perfect movie.
There's some shows like that too, like my favorite show on Netflix.
Which one it changes?
The Killing.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Oh, really?
Like
I haven't
a
seen
lot
that
of. Oh, it's so
Too many
good.
red herrings.
Oh, stop it! He's like they're horrible
Yeah, it's good.
detectives. But
kind of-
no, it really grew.
Right.
Like
After,
yeah,
Right.
I mean it was
yeah.
dead. A pun on The Killing, but then Netflix, they had to keep bringing it back. AMC did because of the cult following.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would cancel it every season, have to bring it back, but now it lives on Netflix, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
good.
example of that. It's
Right.
really good. It's very dark.
Yeah,
I was just reading
beautifully
Beach Boys'
shot.
Pet Sounds.
It's beautifully shot if you think every scene
Yeah,
should have
It's
pretty
not
good.
considered a very good record at all, and now it's
Yeah.
top 2 in or
Yeah, every critic's
one or
list.
2 in every critic's list.
Yeah, so it's not, like that idea that if you've heard of something, that means it's good. I mean, I think a lot of new movies disprove that. The big budget Hollywood movies disprove that all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think
Oh,
too, it
they're
just means
horrible.
go, make your own judgment. Like, go
Right.
see movies, take risks. Go choose a movie. Maybe
Yeah.
go to the Cineplex and choose the one movie that you've heard nothing about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's so cool about film festivals too. Is like oftentimes you don't really know anything about it, and you just go in blind. That's the best way you can see a movie.
Yeah.
I know.
Honestly, I think that's probably the biggest attitude shift in Chattanooga that I've seen in 30 years of doing that. Is now we have more and more people who say, "I don't want to order the same thing off the menu. Give me something different."
Yeah.
Right, try something new.
I'm
That's the
excited
restaurant we've
about
always
this.
gone. Let's go try something different. So that movies. That's why this film festival is suddenly doing well.
And this
wouldn't have
Palace
worked
place.
8 years ago. 10 years
Yeah.
ago
No.
would not have worked.
I'm excited about this new theater.
Yeah, it's a progression of
Yeah, because
what
I
Chris
look
started. So
on Rotten Tomatoes like every week, and I'll see what's playing here on every Friday, and I'm like,
what's on Netflix?
Because or it just sucks. Like it's like a block, it's like daddy daycare or something. I'm like, oh god. Yeah. Or in the Ovation Room, sorry, Majestic People. It's always like the worst movie playing in there. Like
What is that, like the new independent?
No.
It's where you get beer while you're watching the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
brings you food. If you
But in Tennessee, not like in some other normal states, you can only drink wine and beer in like one room.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
changed.
like like a bar in the theater. Like if you even go to Atlanta,
That's changed.
there's,
That,
like,
that goes
bars in
back
every
to the
theater.
old pornography theater. But seriously,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Yeah.
that, so.
So
Well, the new,
That's
the film festival, I think there's beverages, places. I think I don't know.
I don't know.
Somewhere.
We'll
Go
find
see.
out.
Go find out. At least at the after parties.
I mean, the story is in today's paper, and I want to correct. There's more than 100 films. I think we have a 35 listed. So just to
Okay.
let people know, there's plenty. So a lot of those are shorts that I think we were counting features, but
Okay.
there's going to be plenty to see.
Yeah.
Definitely.
and there's big events. There's like a lot of filmmakers are coming out. There's like
Yeah, we haven't really talked
Bob
about
Briggs
that. I
is
mean,
coming
you
out.
guys, you're not just seeing the film. There's going to be panel discussions in some cases, Q&A.
Yeah, Q&A. I mean,
So,
some
yeah.
of the most fun you can have at seeing a movie is like hearing a Q&A after,
Right.
and hearing some of the dirty
Yeah.
secrets.
That's the best part.
There's crazy the Everything is Terrible, which are like these maniac kind of VHS archivist weirdos that make these totally like dimension shifting experience shows. Those guys are going to be here.
Oh, cool.
Joe Bob Briggs, who is an old TV movie host guy, that's an incredible presentation he's doing about the history of Tennessee and film, and he's going to be doing this live thing. And these things are really memorable and really wild. The director Uwe Boll, who's been savaged by the press for his filmmaking, is going to come out and defend his honor and take people on an all-night drunken bar spree, and
Here?
it's like, yeah,
It's a good story.
crazy,
That needs to be
crazy
a headline.
shows.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's called the Uwe Boll All Night Stroll. He's just
Yeah.
gonna show his movies and then run around and take everybody to bars, and everyone's gonna rage and have fun.
That's a
And,
good. Somebody needs to cover that.
yeah, so there's like a lot of
Need to
stuff
go.
in addition to the films.
Yeah, you go ahead
Yeah,
and take
do
it.
an all night coverage.
There you
Do
go.
it.
Just
Good
run
excuse.
Facebook
Yeah.
Live.
Good
Facebook Live all
excuse
night.
for you.
Oh man.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of
I
stuff.
have to work.
I have to ask him
Joy.
about Far Cry. I have a
to
lot of
go to
questions
work.
about that movie.
That's funny.
So
All
anyway,
right. Do we have any other questions today that are valid?
We have a few comments. Yes, I was going to read it. Cornelia Conrad says, hello from Germany to y'all.
Hello.
Anil Sagar says, hi from Bellevue, Washington.
I'm from Washington. Hi.
Yes. Danny Jones says a bunch of things. He says, Zack is the man. Jungle Trap and Zodiac winners, and Alabama represent. And then Joseph Stephen Heath says, I've heard Skip is pretty amazing. Of course, I made it, so I'm biased. It's playing as part of the Tennessee Filmmaker Block on Sunday. So,
Fantastic.
way to get a plug in.
Smart.
Can't wait to see Skip.
Why, that's part of your name.
Wow, interesting. At first I thought the comment was like, "Hey, Skip's pretty amazing." I'm like, "Thanks, guy."
Very cool.
So I guess we gotta go, right? I'm
At some
really
point.
not excited about the rest of my day because it's freezing and we're supposed to go cover a story where I am supposed to go in a cryogenic chamber.
Oh,
I
So
get
that
Wow.
we'll
that
see you in
is
100 years.
For eternity?
Yeah.
Is this it?
I think
No.
Roy Disney is in there.
this is supposed to rid myself of all of my inflammation from living in the United States. That's the purpose.
All the processed foods will be frozen out of your body.
All the toxins.
Oh, fantastic.
So
Pretty big
many.
promise.
Yeah. So that's where we're headed.
I'd love to go in a cryogenic
Yeah,
chamber
sure.
with you.
Yes.
We'll share
Yeah.
one.
Great.
Well, Ellis, yeah,
Whatever.
maybe one of you guys should do it.
Yeah, come on.
1,000 years later. Well,
It's really crazy looking. Your head's just popping out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's like those old weight loss sweat machines
Yeah,
in
you
the
just
50s?
stand
Whatever the
up
opposite
there
of that is.
and your
Yeah.
head-
Yeah.
No, we had gone into an infrared sauna earlier, which looks like a coffin with my head sticking out of there.
Why does the head always stick out?
I don't know.
Aren't they worried about the toxins in people's heads?
It works
Just
for
gotta
us
go there.
our interview purposes, though.
That's
so.
true. You're right. That makes more sense.
I mean, this could be bad. This could be a horror movie.
This could be your last broadcast.
Never.
Sure.
When we see you and your skin is blue from here down, well, no.
It's a
Probably
good
gonna
line.
happen.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll be alright. Okay, I'm gonna go. Alright, so look out for that, and that'll be around 2-ish. Okay? Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks,
Thank
this
you
was
so
really
much.
fun.
This was
Fun.
really
See you
fun
ball.
for us movie nerds over
Yeah.
here. Mhm.
Yeah.
This was a good fun.
Support your video store. Don't do that torrenting. Damn.
Yeah.
amen.
Do it.
Yeah. Pay these guys.
Yes. Go see movies.
Buy something.
Go see movies. Okay.